Well, that was an amazing drive. I camped in western Colorado last night. This morning I drove here into eastern Utah. I'm in the greater Moab area. I'm like an hour outside of Moab. And the road going through this canyon was just amazing. I've never driven that before. This is called Onion Creek. At least the creek here is called Onion Creek. The road is called Onion Creek Road. And then I was also driving along the Colorado River before turning onto this road. Just gorgeous scenery, as always, as is usually the case in the Moab area. Just a beautiful, beautiful spot. I'm really excited about today's adventure. So over in this direction, over here, there's a group of towers called the Fisher Towers. And in fact, you can see the tallest one right here. This is called the Titan. It's like a 900-foot tower, just a massive piece of rock, spectacular. The Fisher Towers you can drive to, and then there's a couple-mile hike that starts over here that wanders around through the through the towers. The Fisher Towers are amazing. If you haven't done the little hike over there, definitely worth doing. Probably the most spectacular scenery in Moab that isn't a national park, or at least up there, it's in contention. And there's a lot of spectacular scenery around here, but those are just otherworldly. There's really nothing else like that, except for another group of giant, mysterious towers that is just behind the Fisher Towers that most people never see, and that is where we're headed today. The Fisher Towers are back in here, mostly hidden from view from this angle, and the Towers of Mystery that we're going to, they're actually called the Mystery Towers, that's the name, are back in here. So what we're gonna do is backtrack a little ways, hang a right into this little canyon right here, and follow it off into the distance, hopefully to the Mystery Towers. This little side canyon that I've turned into is wet. There's water in the bottom of the wash here. I think normally probably 95% of the time this is dry, but there has been some rain and snow in the area in the last few days, and that actually is the reason I'm getting a late start today. It's 10:30 right now. Usually I like to get up and at 'em first thing in the morning, and I was up, but I was camped in Colorado, and the dirt road leading to where I was going to be today, was snowy and muddy and steep, and so just I couldn't drive that road. And so I had to kind of do a quick recalibration, figure out, okay, what do I want to do today? Where do I want to be? So I drove a couple hours from western Colorado to here, to eastern Utah. And I'm glad I did. It's looking to be a beautiful morning. Again, conditions seem to be a little bit wetter than usual, a little bit more wet than optimal, but still should be a fun day. About half an hour in now, and the scenery is starting to look pretty darn cool. And you can see how there are two canyons here. One goes to the left of the tower over here, and one goes to the right over here. Those are both different options for the approach to where I want to go, to the Mystery Towers. I'm going to take the right hand side. I think it's a little bit more direct, but there is a potentially unpassable obstacle up ahead. I'm hoping we can get there or get past it, but only one way to find out. This is the obstacle I was talking about. So we have here about a 20 or 25 foot high cliff. It's not dead vertical, but it's obviously pretty steep. There's water running down it. It's kind of a mini waterfall at the moment. So the footing is going to be a little bit slick, a little bit slippery. And then there are a couple of fixed ropes here. So this area that we're heading to, the Mystery Towers, which is beyond the top here, is a rock climbing destination. It's not a popular rock climbing destination. The Fisher Towers are much more popular, but people have been climbing here since the 60s or 70s, I think. And so it would have been climbers who fixed these ropes here. This is the most direct approach to several of the more prominent and impressive towers up here. And so I think I'm gonna put away this camera and I'll just pull out the GoPro so I don't have to go up and down this twice if I have this camera, setting over here. I'll pull out the GoPro and we'll try to make our way up this thing. Okay, let's give these a little bit of a tug just to make sure they won't collapse immediately under my weight or snap immediately. Gonna try to stay out of the running water. Gonna try to use the footholds that are available whenever possible. The ropes are running with water themselves. They're very wet. Almost there though. Oh yeah, not too bad. Really neat. It's fun seeing the water rush down there. Okay, that wasn't bad at all. Here's the top of the ropes. They're kind of tied around a few boulders up here and semi-buried. Let's keep going. Welcome to the Mystery Towers. So these two towers here, these little guys that I'm standing between, are called the Aliens, which I think is a pretty appropriate name. They look kind of otherworldly. But these are baby towers. These are not the main attraction. I can see a few of the other towers from here, but I want to wait until I get a better view, till I have a clearer picture of the towers so I can show them to you. So let me climb up this little ridge in front of me here, and I'll show you the rest of the towers when I have a better view. Okay, wow, this is where things get interesting. So starting on the left here, this tower is called Gothic Nightmare, which I think is a great name given the top of that thing. It just looks like a twisted jumble of gargoyles on top of a cathedral. And then to the right of that, we have this beauty. This is called the Citadel. And these are huge. This is like 600 feet high. So that's about 60 stories high. Just crazy. And then further to the right, we have this jumble of broken cliffs. And on the far right, we have this guy, which is called the Atlas. Again, just a massive fin of rock right there. I think my goal here is to get to this ridge that's between Gothic Nightmare and Citadel. I think I can just go up this slope behind me here. Again, only one way to find out. If you couldn't tell, if it wasn't clear, this isn't a hiking area. People don't really hike here. They come here to climb these things, but they see, first of all, they see very little climbing traffic, these towers, but they see even less just hiker traffic. So I'm kind of just making this up as I go along here, but that's part of the fun. We have another fixed line here. I don't know if you guys could see that, but my hat got blown off. There was a big gust of wind. My hat just went pew! Got launched over the edge. I'll see if I can find it on the way down. This behind me here is Gothic Nightmare. Again, great name. And then behind me, on the other side of the ridge, is the Citadel. Just a wildly beautiful and crazy place with wild and crazy and beautiful rock formations, and they're kind of coated in this layer of mud. It looks like they're made out of wax and it's dripping. Isn't that neat? These towers are slowly just eroding away, melting. I thought I would have better views of the Fisher Towers from up here, which is the neighboring group of towers over there, but they're more separate, they're farther apart than I thought they were, and they're kind of hidden behind this ridge that's coming down in front of me. The Fisher Towers also, again, similarly spectacular, if not more spectacular than these. I've climbed multiple of the Fisher Towers. I've never climbed any of these. I'll put some pictures of my Fisher Tower climbing adventures on the screen here. So cool. Very, very few people get to see this, so I'm really happy that I was able to figure out how to get here. Took a little bit of doing, took a little bit of effort, a little bit of climbing up ropes and scrambling up little cliffs, and it cost me a hat, but definitely worth it. It's 2:30, which means I have 2.5 hours of daylight left. It took me, I think, 3.5 hours to get to here. It took about 1 hour and 45 minutes to get to the aliens down there. I'm guessing it'll take 2.5 hours to get back to the car. There's that wind again. So I'm gonna focus on getting back to the car, hopefully before dark, or at least down into the kind of straightforward canyon part before dark. And I'll see you guys somewhere back at the car or on a campsite or something. Wish me luck. And with a little bit of daylight left, I've found a campsite. It's wide open and windy, as I'm sure you can hear. I can see just the tips of the La Salle Mountains. I think that's the second highest mountain range in Utah, second or third. And then a dried up watering hole for cattle. And wide open spaces. Let's shelter behind the car here as a windbreak as we wrap this up. The descent went well, took about 1.5 hours to get back to the car. No major issues there, and I did find my hat, by the way. And I was listening, throughout the day I've been listening to an audiobook that one of you guys recommended to me, and I wanted to recommend it to you guys because it's really good. It's a nonfiction book. It's an adventure book about the source of the Nile, more specifically about the search for the source of the Nile. It is called, let me find it, River of the Gods, Genius, Courage, and Betrayal in the Search for the Source of the Nile. Really fun listen, easy listen. I'll put a link to that down below if you guys want to check that out. But had a great time today, really fun adventure. I've been wanting to visit the Mystery Towers for years. Back in the day when I was really into rock climbing, I really wanted to go there, and I never made it there then, and so it's fun to finally make it all these years later. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. What did you think of the scenery, and of the adventure, and of the video? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your favorite part was. And I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.